Hello, kings and queens. Hello, welcome. I am so glad that you guys are here. Recently I've been having some wonderful conversations with friends and family about the different books that I'm reading. And some of you who follow me on Instagram may have seen a couple of weeks ago, I recently got many of my books, like a whole box full of books, out of an old storage unit that I have. So I wanted to take a second today and share with you all the different books that I'm reading that have informed me and helped influence your humble servant and sex coaching student and amateur sexologist, Kincaid McMinn. You're watching the Kingly Love YouTube channel. Today we're going to go through the 4 different main categories of books that I have, which include business, psychology and spirituality, fitness, and of course, sexology. I'm gonna go ahead and share with you some of my highlights for each of those, and then we'll be able to have a discussion. You'll have a little bit more of an idea about where I come from when I talk about the different things we discuss here on the channel. Let's get started. First up here we have my books on business, money management, sales, marketing, different things like that. For each of these sections I'm going to go ahead and pick out 2 books, and then maybe if I feel like it, give maybe a third honorable mention. But I'll talk about 2 in detail. First up we have Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. If you have not yet read Crush It or Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk, highly recommend you check that out, especially if you're planning on doing anything, pursuing some sort of passion for your career, some sort of personal hobby, and you really want to try to make it a viable business. Next up, I have the Getting Rich trilogy. The book that I really want to focus on here is The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. A couple of years ago I was going through a really dark time in my life before I got into entrepreneurship, before I got into, discovered sexology, that's what I wanted to do for a career, and I was a very bitter person, and the book The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, or The Science of Being Great, also by Wallace Wattles, really helped kind of form my foundational viewpoint that was a much more positive and enlivening viewpoint to look at the entire world and myself than I had previously had. So definitely recommend checking those out, especially Science of Getting Rich and The Science of Being Great. And for my third honorable mention for the finance section, go ahead and check out Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That's going to be a really simple way of setting up foundational principles of what rich people do versus what poor people do with their money. So check that out. Next up, we have my books on psychology, spirituality, philosophy, and religion. That kind of amalgamation of all of those things. I find that intersectionality between philosophy and psychology and spirituality very fascinating. What we have here, a book so important I actually bought about 3 or 4 different copies of it to give out to various friends. King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. This is a fantastic book. It talks about kind of the basis of the various myths that we have, and how there are certain kind of core elements to the various myths that we have throughout our society, and what that tells us about our psychology as human beings, and how you can apply that to yourself. The next book that I have that I recommend is King by Elliot Hulse and Chris Barnard. It kind of incorporates a little bit of all of these sections, except maybe sexuality. Absolutely cannot recommend this enough. It covers so many different aspects of your personality. Both Elliot Hulse and the authors of King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, Robert Moore and Douglas Gillette, are Jungian psychologists, so if you like what you read in these books more, check out the work of Carl Jung. And honorable mention that I haven't really started yet, but I'm really excited about it, is The 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson. Peterson, also a Jungian psychologist, talks a lot about foundational things that help kind of set you up for a successful life. So I haven't torn into it yet, but I'm really excited to. I'm starting that this week. For fitness, my first pick is going to be Convict Conditioning by Paul Wade. This is an amazing book that talks about calisthenics. For people who know me, they know that while I do enjoy lifting weights from time to time, it's not my main deal. My main deal is I want to do bodyweight training pretty much almost exclusively. So this is a fantastic book that breaks down a lot of bodyweight fitness staples, from very simple, like doing push-ups against a wall, to incredibly hard, like doing one-arm push-ups. So I'm working kind of through this book, as well as a couple other things, including like Al Cavadlo. I have a couple of his books in here as well. This book was foundational for my fitness. And the next book that I have here is How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy by Paul Chek. I absolutely love this. It is a great book that talks about the importance of diet. It talks about different forms of exercise from that focus on different muscle groups. That talks about meditation and using meditation, using exercises as meditation as a form of healing, as well as just to get stronger. This is a really wonderful book that covers a lot of different topics. I highly recommend it. And last but not least, we have my books about human sexuality. First up, we have The Art of Sex Coaching by Dr. Patty Britton. This is incredibly wonderful. This is one of the textbooks that I have for my sex coaching course. So it breaks down common concerns that partners have, males, females, how to set up your sex coaching practice. And it's just a really wonderful book. I've learned a lot just from reading it, things that I didn't even consider beforehand. And it's a fantastic tool for anybody who has a clientele basis revolving around sexuality. This is a great book that I'd recommend highly. And my last pick is The Guide to Getting It On. Check this monster out. This is a fantastic reference guide. It's not designed to be read from start to finish. You could do that. It would be a mammoth undertaking, but you could do that. But this is a fantastic reference guide. Whenever I'm trying to look up information to put in some of these videos about like a specific question or a piece of anatomy or something like that, in addition to the textbook that I have down here, that's an actual college textbook, The Guide to Getting It On is a wonderful guide. I particularly love it because, let's see if I can find a nice illustration. Let's find an illustration that's PG. Yeah, this will work. There are fantastic illustrations here. I don't know if you can see them, but what's great about it is they had this wonderful kind of comic book, sketch book kind of style. That really bring an entertaining spin to what are usually very, very difficult topics to discuss. And the author's tone in here, Paul Joannides, the author's tone is also very tongue-in-cheek, very playful, and tackles a lot of hard topics in here. It's a great guide. I cannot recommend it enough. It's what I use whenever I'm trying to look up whenever I have a question that I need a quick answer to. And very quick honorable mention is Zavira's Super Sex by Zavira Hollander. This is a book that came out in the 70s. I picked it up at a garage sale, and it also has some really beautiful illustrations in there. This time more of a like pen and paper kind of sketchbook style than the comic book style here. So those are, it's a general breakdown of the different types of books that I read, some of my favorite recommendations for each one. I have countless other books, some of them are on Kindle, some of them are especially a lot in audio that I listen to while I'm driving. I'm always trying to learn new stuff. But those are some of my favorites that I have here in print. If you guys have any book suggestions or any questions about any one of the books that you saw today, go ahead, shoot me a message down below, send me a private message, or leave a comment down below, and we'll be able to talk about it. I'll be able to give you a little more insight into what they may contain. Don't forget to like this video so that way we can boost our ratings on YouTube. Share it with anybody who you guys are talking about personal development books of really any different field. I feel like this kind of covers a broad range. And go ahead and subscribe so that way, we're able to boost that viewership as well and show your support for me. I really appreciate every single one of you so far, all of your viewership and all of your kind words so far. Go ahead and follow me on social media. I have my Twitter handle and Instagram down below. I'm more social on Instagram than I am on Twitter. Go ahead and check those out. Follow me to find more like small little snippets throughout the week as well. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing you all next week. Love like royalty. There's nothing in here. This is an empty cup.
It's all fake. Alright.
This is all an illusion. Nothing is real. These aren't even real books. They're cardboard. Wake up, sheeple.